Today, our journey leads us to the coastal region of Kenya, where the tranquil waters of Chuda Creek hold a treasure trove of biodiversity, the mangroves. Our destination, Bigship, a community-based organization dedicated to safeguarding and conserving these vital ecosystems. Bigship stands as a shining example of youth-led restoration efforts and is one of the beneficiaries of the INUKA Project.
First and foremost, I want to appreciate Mr. Paul Kaluki very much, and the Youth for Nature team for making this happen. I remember we used to have this conversation back in 2020 before COVID. It was just like the way friends can meet and talk like, what do you do, what do you do? And you just say and you believe this another one conversation that you'll have in your life. Yeah? Little did I know that it's going to create more impact and us to be here. So I want to thank God for this day.
So excited to learn what Bigship are doing in terms of restoration. Happy to learn their strategy that they identify sites and then they map out stakeholders and then they do restoration and come up with investments to ensure that the restoration has both the social, economic and environmental angle.
Bigship initially focused on promoting proper waste management practices. However, over the years, their mission evolved, and with official registration, they set sail towards the preservation of mangroves through education and conservation.
So Bigship started back in 2009, just after high school. Then we're like, what can you do? I was lucky for some time to be out of Mombasa and stayed in Nairobi for some years, and there I learned a lot of things. Amongst was waste management. On my return back to Mombasa, I was like, I think we can do this, talked to my colleagues, started a youth group, did IGA, waste management. So I must say that 2013 is when our Bigship formally started working as an institution. Did a strategic plan, did controls, incorporated some elements of corporate governance, separated the board and the management, okay, but with no funding still. So we volunteered ourselves, our resources, our time, to ensure we institutionalize Bigship. 2 years later, we had our first project with DFID. It was a 10 million project that we did in 2015, and it escalated our engagement. In 2017, 2 years later again, we got another project with World Vision Kenya, which we're implementing to date. And because our niche is waste management and restoration and youth empowerment, those missions have always stayed. Partners and donors come and go, but our goal, our objective, and our mission have always remained the same. And we have 3 main thematic goals. Our objective, very specific objective, and one of course is this marine ecosystem. Back then when we were coining our goal, we realized the forest was shrinking, a lot of pollution, and then there were no this conversation about conserving it, leave alone mangrove. So we said, let us put our first objective to conserve the marine and specifically the mangrove. And that became our rally goal. Our second objective was now to advocate for now the waste management, which we were seeing it in our ecosystem. So we are promoting best practices in waste management. A best practice could be like using a dustbin, as simple as it is. Our third objective, and the most important one, is now ensuring that the human person, the development of youth and women. So that's why we say we are human-centered. As much as we are so synonymous with marine, until people forget that we have social projects. Out there, when you mention Bigship, mangrove will be there, yeah, trees, yeah. But our main intention is to see that how can we help hands of all our young people, so that yeah, they can, especially in this urban setup, they can be able to compete in this. They can be more resilient as young people, and especially as women, young women, of course, women generally. More than 70 to 80% of our financing every year is internally. So however much, but we have not been able to attract a lot of donor funding as is expected. So we really rely on our internal funding, which is basically our adopter site is our major financing program, the adopter site project, and it is our own coined program, all designed and implemented, and it actually does more than 60%.
As we step on the shores of Tudor Creek, we are not only greeted by the salty breeze of the sea, but also by the invaluable wisdom of those who call this coastal paradise home. For the INUKA Project, this visit isn't merely about observation. It's about delving into the intricate relationship between biodiversity and nature-based solutions. The INUKA study visit unfolds in two parts: an immersive workshop and an experiential field excursion. The INUKA team leads on the delivery of the workshop training through the thoughtfully curated INUKA curriculum. While in the field, the host organization takes charge in leading the team through what they do, how they do it, and why they do it. In Mombasa, the training workshop delivers lessons on the basis of nature-based solutions, NBS, what they are and why they matter. The training further explored the IUCN Global Standard for NBS, emphasizing its role in guiding the design, implementation, and scaling of nature-based solutions. This training serves as a crucial foundation, bridging the gap between scientific knowledge, traditional indigenous wisdom, and real-life implementation experience. It prepares the beneficiaries for their field experience, where they will witness firsthand how NBS practices intersect with biodiversity conservation efforts.
So Dana can ask about how I can answer how adopter site work, but I'll respond to what is the next step for the organization. I would say the strategic plan is our next step. It will really open up more because now we are trying to do situation analysis and to understand what is the environment telling us, and then we believe to pick it from there.
How does adopter site work? Basically, it is designed to support the communities that are living along this Tudor Creek. So we are having various strategies that work under adopter site. First of all, we start by mapping degraded areas along the creek that needs restoration. After mapping these degraded areas, we partner with the communities along this area. The third strategy after that is we conduct the actual restoration. We have mapped, we have partnered with the communities, and now it is time for us to restore. Restoration simply means going to plant now the mangrove, the actual planting activity. And then the final strategy is now investment. And by that, one of the greatest investment we have done so far is beekeeping. It is not widely known that mangrove are good for beekeeping. So we have so far given hives to 5 community groups along the creek, and a total of 25 hives. And once now we give these hives to the community, we provide market for them. We provide the equipment, the capacity, we capacity build them, and we provide market. So in that, our community are able now to appreciate our efforts of conservation, our efforts of restoration and protection.
Hii miti yote iliyokuwepo na sahihi, tofauti yake ni kwamba hapo zamani kulikuwa na uharibifu sana wa mikoko. Miti ilikuwa ikikatwa na wazazi wetu na jamii zetu ambao tulikuwa nao karibu, na tulikuwa tukiona, sababu japo tulikuwa tukiona mambo haya fanyika, lakini tulikuwa ni wadogo. Ila kwa sasa hivi tumekuwa tumejua umuhimu wa mkoko ni nini, mbali na kwamba ni kumkata kwenda kujengea. Tumejua sababu umuhimu wake uko aina nyingi. So tukaona ni muhimu tuulinde na tuuregeshe ule uliokuwa umekatwa na ile ambayo ilitekwa na mvua ya El Nino. Pale mahali niko naweza kujisustain mambo mengi. Ule mkoko anajitolea, mbindi nijitolea kuulinda, kwa sababu ya kwamba unanipatia kazi yangu ama unipatie ile biashara yangu nilikuwa nayo pale kwenye ile mikoko ya kuwekeza, ya kuweka nyuki, upate chakula kwa wepesi. Sababu tukitegemea nchi kavu na tukitegemea mikoko iko na maua throughout, na kuna mikoko ambayo iko na maua seasonal, baada ya miezi ndio yanatoa na maua. Sasa nakuta kwamba hii ya huku nchi kavu inakuwa na kipindi kigumu cha nyuki kutengeneza asali, so na mimi natumia mikoko.
That is just in a nutshell of how our adopter site is. It is basically community based to support our community. So with that, we've been able to have a good partnership with our community, and for now they are even champions of restoration.
INUKA team is down at Bigship, environmental organization, where inside their adopter site restoration site, we had the chance to just visit and see what interventions they're having with the local community and the diversity that they're trying to also restore while creating livelihoods for the local communities and the surrounding villages.
Also, we have learned a lot of things, including the strategies that they're using to do the restoration, including natural and assisted regeneration, and we will be looking at how this, align with other sites that we'll be visiting after this, including the farmer-assisted natural regeneration that are used in other sites. Of course, also noting that Bigship identified that one of their strengths is that they have meaningfully engaged communities in this area, and we will also be keen to find out whether this, aligns or differentiates with what other youth groups are doing in other ecosystems. And of course, these key learnings will help us, inform implementation of this project even beyond this pilot.
Mimi kama community nilianza huu mradi wa upanzi wa mikoko wakati tulikuwa tukikata mikoko na kuchoma makaa na kutengeneza kuni. But tukaona kuwa itakuwa hakuna mikoko tena, juu kizazi chingine hakitaona mikoko. Ndio tukaona afadhali tuanze kupanda mikoko. Ndio tukaanza kupanda mikoko ikiwa ni 2012 ndio tulianza kupanda mikoko. Hatukuwa tunajua kuwa kuna forest, hatukuwa tunajua kuwa vikundi vinakuwa registered, but hiyo 2013 ndio tukakuwa registered katika hii social service hapa Mombasa. Ndio tukajulikana kama Amani Jipange, ndio tukaanza kuendelea kupanda mikoko. Tulikuwa na kama eka 5 mwanzo ambazo tulianza kuzipanda, na hizo tukazijaza, na sasa hata ukitembea huko mahali utashangaa, manake mikoko imekuwa mikubwa. Na tukaona ni tuendelee, manake mikoko kwetu sasa imekuwa ni faida, maana tunapumua hewa safi sahi, na pia ndani ya hiyo mikoko bado kuna samaki watu wanapata, yani katika uvuvi. Si kama kitambo, manake kulikuwa uvuvi uko chini, lakini sahi tunaona ni afadhali watu wakiingia baharini hawatoki vile wameenda, wanatoka na kitu. Hata kama mtu atauza atapata kama ni 200, but anajiboost katika jamii yake. Sasa hiyo ndio chanzo chenye tuliona tupande mikoko, na mpaka sasa tunavyoongea bado tunaendelea kupanda.
Na nikiwa mwana jamii, nashukuru kwamba nimejishirikisha sana juu ya mambo ya mazingira, hasa uhifadhi huu wa mikoko, ambayo mwaka wa 98 kulinyesha mvua kubwa sana El Nino, ambayo iliharibu sana, mbali na kukatwa na wanajamii, lakini iliharibu mikoko mingi sana, ambayo hata huu ambao tumesimama hapa, ambayo ni moja ile mikoko ambayo ilikuwa very much common, hiyo ndio iliweza kuondolewa haraka sana na mvua. Na kupitia kwa hali hiyo, basi tukaona kwamba ni vyema ya kwamba tuweze kuungana na kujishirikisha, hasa kwa ajili ya kurudisha mazingira hii ya mkoko. Na tumeona kwamba kuna faida nyingi sana, hasa kwa sisi ambao wengine tu wavuvi, maana kuna uvuvi mara nyingi, kuna wale wanavua kamba, kuna wale wanavua kaa, kuna wale wanavua samaki. Sasa hawa kamba wameongezeka na hawa kaa wameongezeka kwa sababu wanapata mahali pa kujificha, ya kwamba waweze kuzana vizuri. Hata samaki naona wanazaa vizuri sasa kwa sababu ya ule mkoko vile ambavyo unaendelea vizuri.
The visit to Bigship underscores the interconnectedness of biodiversity conservation and NBS initiatives. Just as Bigship recognized the pivotal role of mangrove protection in mitigating waste pollution, our beneficiaries witness how NBS practices can be derived from or inspired by nature, serving as a lifeline for both ecosystems and communities.
Aquaculture production has always been one of the ways to try to combat food security. The production of aquaculture along the Kenyan coast, if I can say, it has been doing well, and the production has been in quantities. Many coastal communities and the fisher community have been trying to get into this business, where they are trying to reduce the wild fish stock that are in the ocean, so that they don't overfish what is there, and have their own where they can sell and also provide income for them, for the community. The reason why we have the mangroves along this place is because when you remove a fish from its wild habitat and you bring it out of the wild, you try to do everything to make that fish feel comfortable and be able to have the same conditions and the same temperatures, the same habitat that they had in the natural environment. That's why we have the mangroves, because they are known as nursery grounds for most of the fish. But one of the challenges that the aquaculture industry faces is because it's still a new field and many solutions haven't been found well. And that leads to most of the fish, they tend to die. One. Another challenge is because poor management. Aquaculture is not an easy job, and many communities tend to run to it thinking that it is an easy job as a way to provide for them income, yet they are not willing to take care of the fish and provide all the necessary fish meals, the fish feeds for the growth of the fish.
We have really experienced a lot of things. We have seen how people can conserve even in wetlands, and it's a nice experience.
We'll be using these learnings to really impact and inspire the next 1.5 years, and really showcasing the potential that mangroves are bringing to the communities. At the site, they are restoring about 5 different species which have local significance here, and to us it becomes a strong basis to really cement the value of true conservation and the value of community engagement, the value of stakeholder engagement, and really investing the right resources in our communities to drive and enhance more nature-based solutions, restoration for communities, for nature, and of course the world at large.
And we really appreciate our team. This team, as you see it, they are really taking this organization to places, because going there, they advise the county, we advise the Kenya Forest, we advise NEMA here, we partner with Kemfree. Kemfree is one of our closest partners because of much of the research we do in the marine ecosystem.
So with that, we are really hoping with our partnership engagement and people like you and Youth for Nature, we will be able to upscale our objectives and our vision and our mission.
In the delicate tapestry of nature, every action, no matter how small, creates ripples that resonate across the vast expanse of life. Armed with newfound knowledge and determination, we set sail for our next adventure. Stay tuned to discover the insights and discoveries awaiting us on this maiden voyage. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and engage us on our social media handles at INUKA Africa _.